British voters have emphatically rejected socialism. They've rejected the far-left ideology of Jeremy Corbyn. They've also rejected the anti-Semitism of the Labour Party as well. And this was a disastrous campaign run by Labour. Jeremy Corbyn has announced that he will not lead the Labour Party into the next general election. So we'll see a new Labour leader coming in. But the Conservatives really triumphed among working-class voters who had enough of the far-left Labour ideology. And also large numbers of these working-class voters simply want to see Britain moving forward in the Brexit era as a truly free, sovereign nation.
This report is devastating. I mean, it is shocking the mistakes and errors and omissions made by the FBI in, frankly, mishandling this investigation. And it's very clear, if you put the whole report together, that the FBI misled the FISA court when it was applying for eavesdropping warrants on the Trump campaign.
At any number of points, they could have gone to the campaign and said, look, these allegations are being made. You need to be watching out. We need to preserve the integrity of the election.
Sure. But
they chose not to do so. They chose to embark down the road of conducting a full-blown investigation against a major party candidate. And as the Harvard report makes quite clear, they did so in a shockingly shoddy manner.
Put the media's obsession with impeachment into perspective. More Americans Googled Peloton this week than they did the word impeachment. Americans, many of them have been over it, and it's interesting that Democrats and the media have yet to convince these crucial, moderate, swing state voters that impeachment is the right path to go down, despite all the media bias.
There's no solution to the border crisis that would be good enough for these radical leftists because they like the border crisis. And so, of course, they're not going to be on the team of anything that can help mitigate it. There's nothing wrong with CBP needing a little help. Sometimes when you order the seafood tower at Red Lobster, you need a friend to come help you out to finish it. That's okay.
It really is the president's decision, and we don't know what the White House is thinking. We could be inches from a phase one deal, or we could still be miles apart. The real story here, though, Cheryl, is that it's completely out of touch to say that Americans are becoming desensitized to the China tariff issue. This next round of over $100 billion in goods that could be taxed are consumer goods, ranging from Apple products to the basic necessities you need for your babies and children. So this is a direct tax on the American people that will be felt much heavier than previous iterations.
Well, my first assumption is that everything to do with the U.S. and China negotiations is about politics in both countries rather than actually about trade flows. And I don't know how the USMCA agreement has an impact on this. It might actually make it easier for President Trump to maintain going forward with the tariffs, but on the other hand, everything we're hearing
make it easier to go forward with
them and put them in place. But I have to say that everything we're hearing out of Washington at the moment is that there's likely to be a delay in that, and I think everybody hopes that that would be the case.
The European elites who are mocking the United States and also mocking Great Britain. There's a great deal of anti-British sentiment at the moment in Europe over Brexit. But the reality is that it's the US and the UK, the two countries that lead the free world, that keep the world safe, the beating heart of the free world. And let's face it, a lot of European elites and also Canadian leaders as well are envious, I think, of the kind of leadership that the United States and Great Britain project.
People are rightfully concerned, and it's not just about the cost. And make no mistake, the cost would be a big additional tax on regular workers. But it's really the lack of control, the fact that people are going to give up control over their own healthcare decisions and put that into the hands of the federal government. That is really starting to trouble people, as it should.
There are certain issues that shouldn't be partisan, and a strong economy is certainly one of them. But unfortunately, this has become a partisan issue because there's such a stark difference between the economic policies that you're seeing from the Trump administration versus what liberal Democrats are calling for, which is really they want to flip over the entire economy. And it's really strange, you have to wonder why they're asking to do that when we have such a strong economy that's working so well.